Good evening. I'm Rick Dancer. Welcome to Instagram and Facebook and YouTube over here. It is the day after the election. And, I have had hardly any time all day to even look at much online about elections because I've been really, really busy, which is good. So I know there's a bunch of lawsuits going on and all kinds of drama happening in the world. And I'm sure some of you are not around because you're watching the news to catch up on all the latest stuff. Oh my gosh. So what do you learn out of all of this? What do you take home from this? Last night, I'm sure a lot of you were like me, kind of wondering what's happening. And, I honestly did not watch one news station. What I did was I found a site online that was updating the map. And hi, Lori, and I could do it myself. I could look at the map and I could, without commentary and without somebody else's opinion or they're swaying what I'm supposed to believe, I just did it all myself. Jeff, I think I honestly don't know. I do agree. My train's going by. With Casey, it is kind of a shit show. Man, that train's loud. But what do you take out of this? Well, the one thing I can say is while I may not end up being happy with the winner, whoever is the winner is my president. I am not one of those people who goes around and says, he's not my president. Well, he is my president. So you've been banned. Bonnie, why have you been banned? From what? None of your comments are coming through. I wonder why that is. I don't know. I didn't ban you, so it was not something that I did. I don't know what happened. Has anybody else been banned? 309 has one with, you gave me my self-manager's badge at Mount Vernon Elementary 16 years ago. Sorry, just wanted to say hi. Miranda, don't be sorry. I thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Spend a lot of time in this community. Hey, Rick, I was the guy that walked up to you at Costco and said, you did a speech at high school Lake Triangle. Yeah, I recognize you, man. You found me online. That's awesome. I don't know who's won. But you know what? I'm kind of focusing on other stuff. Yours aren't showing either. So we're over here on Instagram. We're over here on YouTube. I wonder why they're not showing up. Well, yours just did, Brandy. So what is there somewhere else that you're coming from? Newsmax has real numbers. Unsure. I reported it last week, but haven't received anything. That's crazy. The government is not God. No matter the outcome, I will choose to live joyfully and create the life that honors and expands my heart. I totally, totally agree with you. Hey, Zach, buddy, how are you? So what's up with me? I'm doing a lot of soul searching because I ran for office in 2008 and I watch what happens now. And it makes me, you kind of check yourself out after this and you remember what that felt like to be the loser. I'm seeing a handful of comments that keep rolling through. I'm not sure where the others are. Are there comments that are not coming through? I miss seeing you on the local news, but I understand why you left so long ago. Yeah, Aaron and I am not going back. I'm taking out off this that I am only one that can make a change in my world. And no matter what happens, I will make the choice to do better for those around me. So you know what's happened to me today, which is super cool. I had a young man who was working with me on some stuff. And then we kind of got into a disagreement over some issues, social issues. And so kind of had some rough points in our friendship there. And this guy, just out of the woodwork, writes me, and you guys know my refrigerator went dead. It died. And he called up and said, "Hey, I can help you haul out your refrigerator." My wife's been on the phone all day looking for a fridge. Because of COVID, or our reaction to COVID, you can't find refrigerators and freezers and things like that, that they're just really hard to find. So she did research all day. My wife's like a research freak. And she went in and she found these German side-by-side refrigerator freezers, which is what we need for our space. And long story short, I found him. Kelly's is going to order them for me. It'll be a week. But then another guy named Eric Hammond, he's on here, and he comes on and says, "Hey, Rick, I got a couple of small commercial refrigerators that you can borrow in the meantime. So at 6:30, I'm going to go over to his house tonight and pick up a couple of little refrigerators. I'll show them to you, and take them to my house, and I'm going to have a refrigerator." So what does that all tell me? I think we're done. I think it's people might not understand that you bring comments on the screen for us to read. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Josh, if they do or don't. You and I may not see eye to eye on certain issues, but I appreciate you and your ability to look within. You're a good man. Keep being you. Yeah, thanks, Chad. I appreciate that. I guess what I've seen today is I feel more relaxed about my world. I feel like I think there's still good out there, and been thinking of moving to Ohio, Zach. Rick, have you been to the point in your life where it's hard to see forward? If so, how did you get through that? I'm going through a bad spell in life and I need a boost. You can personally message me if that's easier. No. Have I been to a point where it was hard to see forward? Yeah. Brandon, I think a lot. I've reached those points a lot in my life. And I don't have a ton of advice, but I can tell you that I can use some serious help right now, my friend. And Marvin, I'm sorry, Marvin, too. So here's what I can tell you. My life's been, I think that's what I was starting to put on here. I think people put my life on a pedestal because I worked on TV and I did this and I did that, and they think that I'm untouched. And I have a teacher at the gym on a spin class I go to, and this morning we were telling her about our refrigerator dying, and she goes, "Oh my God, you guys have had a rough year." And it's interesting because the broken wrist, the COVID, business, the fire, losing our oven, spending a lot of money on that. Now the refrigerator, how things just kind of pile up on you and stuff. I think it's all how we look at our life. I really do. We don't have to agree. I think it's how do I want to put that? Let me go back here, Brandon. So you're at a point in your life when it's hard to see forward. I think that what we do in our lives, or here's what I do, and what I think where we make some mistake. Marianne, is perspective is everything. And I think sometimes we create this story in our head and it goes over and over and over and over. Instead of stopping and going, okay, I'm going to create a new story. I'm going to create something different. I think, what's weird? Did that go on here on Instagram? I'm learning something here. So I am just going to turn that off. Poop happens, and that's why friends are so important. I 100% agree. And I've had people just kind of pulling, and that's the thing, Brandon. I think what you got to do is find people to help pull you out. to just kind of look at life a little bit differently. And that's a choice. That's something we have to choose to do. It's just like with this election. Um, you know, you can get all pissy and whine and cry and think the earth is going to fall apart. And you can say, Donald Trump will never be my president, or Joe Biden will never be my president. But if they are elected and it comes out that that's what it is, at some point we can't keep doing what we've done for the last 4 years. Think how much, and I don't care if you're a Trump supporter or not a Trump supporter. That's not what this is about. But why can't we stop picking people apart and instead try to find something we can work within? I've had many leaders in my life who I did not agree with, and that's bosses, that's presidents, that's senators, that's all kinds of people that I did not agree with vehemently. But I find the thing that I can do in my world, and I go do it. And I'm not going to fight and buck people for the rest of my life, because what good does that do? How does that get us through? Brandon, it's super good to learn. And I think that, just that you want to do differently. And I think you have to start telling yourself, what kind of story do I want to live? I would never have invited prostate cancer into my life, ever. But it happened. And I think the key to some of my strength has been that I survived that. And not only that, I thrived through it. So, and it wasn't easy, and I cried a lot, and I was scared. But what I learned is that I was tougher than I ever thought I was. And that started back with the campaign in 2008 when I ran for office. And I really saw myself for who I am, what people thought. And that all starts building character in your life, and I think we have to, Kathleen, being a public figure can have the drawback of people thinking you have it all figured out. Truth be told, a public figure often hides their pain, and that's when the trouble can begin. You have to have someone to confide in. That's right. That's why I have a business coach, and I have some really good friends, and I have an awesome wife who keeps my feet on the ground. Because people want to, if you ever notice on my page or on a page, all these people can comment, and then I throw a comment in, and it's like stink on shit comes flying at me. It's like I'm a target. And that's how you live your life. But I chose this life, and I'm not bitching about it. We have a choice to view the circumstances we are in as either positive or negative. Having people around me who can help me view it is so important. I agree, Vanessa. And I think the key there is Brandon, there can be a negative thing in my life, and I can look at it as it's negative. And because, come on, cancer is not a positive. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Getting screwed by people is not a positive. But somewhere in there, I can turn that into a positive just by how I'm thinking about it, looking for things. And I'm not saying it's easy. It's the hardest thing you will ever do. But I think we can each have that ability. We forget to have the respect for others when our own mental health is in question. We forget how to be nice to each other. Well, look at this election. Look at how any of our president. Okay, Victoria, but where does that get me? See, I just can't do that today. And I'm not picking on you, but it's at some point, I got to move on. I got to go live my life, and I'm going to do good in the world. And it's not going to do me any good to fight things that I can't fight. That doesn't mean I won't speak out if I see something wrong. I will always speak out if I see something wrong, despite what people want or think. But I can't live off that anger. And it's not towards Camilla. It's, here's what I think is interesting, and I hesitate to bring this up. But what I think is weird is, why can't we have empathy for each other? Why can't we understand how other people think? So let me do it this way, okay? So What blows me away about this whole topic is that you've got people who hate Trump, people who hate Biden, or at least what they think Trump and Biden are about. But they can't see that. So here's how it works. I got to be really careful about this. So, sorry, my other train's going by. So you can't. Let's say here's Bill. Bill votes for Donald Trump. John votes for Joseph Biden. Bill thinks that John is so stupid because he can't see Biden for what he sees him as, that all he can see is that how can you be that stupid? But what you fail to look at is John is looking at Bill the same way and going, wait, if you vote for Biden, then you're this, this, and this. And the other guy thinks about the other person who voted for Trump. If you vote for Trump, you must be a racist and this and this and this. And where does that all come from? The media. So the media puts out, and the campaigns and the public relations people and the parties put out the information that they want you to absorb. And then you absorb it and you believe it. And then we wonder why we can't get along. And it's because you are not even able to empathize with the fact that maybe they think you're just as stupid as you think they are. and maybe you're both stupid. Now, that doesn't mean that I don't think one candidate is better than the other. I vote. And I'm concerned about one candidate or the other more than I am the other one, but I have concerns about all of it. But what I'm most concerned about is the fact that we, as the people of the United States of America, are so fractured. You look at that election yesterday, and you know what makes me sickest is that I think we're like being duped. I think we're being duped by this whole system, and we're buying into it instead of. It's almost like if you could, yes, Kathleen, wives are great. If we could just separate ourselves from this for a little bit and go, okay, there's the issue. See, that's what this young man he and I were not getting along for a while, but all of a sudden I needed help and he offered to help. And so it kind of is rebuilding this. Is there a little tension there? Maybe. But it's still, there's love ahead of all that other stuff. My favorite sustaining mantra while serving overseas in the Navy, when dealing with officers or crew I didn't like or get along with, was to respect the office, even if you don't like or disagree. Alicia, I love that. You have to have respect for the office. You may not respect the person, but you do need to respect the office. And we show such little respect to anyone. If you took that seriously, then you have to, if you hate Donald Trump, you still have to respect the office that he serves. And that means there's some decorum that goes along with that. And the same is true with the sitting senator, Mr. Joseph Biden. My daughter has cancer, and now I always think it could be so much worse. Casey, I love that. I love that. How it is for me is a great place to start flipping the script on the tough stuff. Yeah, this isn't what I believe. Brandon, it's been striving to be a better person as a whole, but damn, man, is it taxing on my mind sometimes. I have a problem. After my accident, I got really sour, and I've never realized it until I pushed a loved one away because of my negativity. You're a role model for me for years. Well, Brandon, I appreciate that. And you know what? It's never too late to say you're sorry. It's not. And if people don't accept that apology, that's not you. That's not on you. And Brandon, come on, man. We all make mistakes. God, if you could go into my past and the things that and the people that I pushed away, the business connections when I was first getting into this, I didn't quite understand. That I pushed people away, and I probably can't change that, but I can change me. Does that make sense? We need to direct our energies into our community and not get caught up in the meta narratives beyond our influence. Harry, I love you. I 100% agree, because I'm going to go at 6:30 tonight and meet a guy who's going to, I've never met him. I don't know him. He's on our page. He saw the need that I need a refrigerator. That's not the biggest deal in the whole world, but it is to my wife. And she's so damn excited because this guy's going to meet me at 6:30 and loan me 2 little refrigerators that I can take home, and we can actually have our food in something other than a cooler. Now, in the big picture of the presidential election and all that, is that important? Hell yeah. Because what did that Eric show me? Love, generosity, community. I love hearing that train whistle blow. It's very comforting, at least to me. I know, Marianne, I love my train. I love my train. Whoever wins doesn't change the fact that we will be just fine. It's not like we haven't been in this position before. Yeah, I mean, we've all lived through politicians that we didn't like, leaders we didn't like. But the secret is that we are the power. I mean, I know they can do things to our lives, but we can change that, at least out here. I think that's where real change happens. Meanwhile, we miss all the subtle nuances that make humanity shine. Harry, I'd like you. Would you name some of those? What are some of the subtle nuances that make things change? The question we need to ask ourselves is, what can we do to be a part of a solution rather than continue to be a part of the problem? We do have control over our choices and how we serve others. There is plenty of work to do for the children, the animals, the elders. Quit bitching and get itching to be kind and giving to people. And you know what? Kathleen is 100% right, in my opinion. Life is a constant change. This year has been hard on everyone. It really has. And I think we need to give each other a break, you know? Kind of give each other a pat on the back and let people be. It's none of your business what other people are doing. So shut the fuck up. You know, if you think that I'm anti-mask, then you need to ask more questions. I get so much bullshit. You know, do I think it's stupid? Yeah, but I'm doing it. So that means I'm not anti-mask. I just think there's more to this than what we're being told, and that's okay. But that doesn't give you the right. I had a guy come on here on another page the other day and tell me that he hoped that me and my family got COVID because that would then prove to me that it was real. Well, first of all, I know it's real, and I've never said it isn't. Is it blown out of proportion? I think it is. But I think we're being led down a road because I trust no one in political offices and shit like that. I think I've seen too many movies. I've worked in news too long. I know what those people are capable of. So, but do I do it? I do it where I'm required to and how I'm required to do it. But that gives no one the right to tell me that they hope that me or my family gets sick. During the fires, because I'm outspoken, I had someone say that they hoped that my home burned down in the fire. Really? Fuck you. You know, really, fuck you. That is the rudest thing. Who says that to people? Who even thinks that? You know, if someone you hate dies, I saw that with Ruth Bader Ginsburg when she died. And there were people that were saying, you know, that they were happy about that. And whether you disagree with her decisions or not, I think there's a special place in hell for you. A kitchen fire, new kitchen, an auto wreck, loads of work done on my rig, the holiday farm, new roof, new insulation, new freezer. Every hardship this year has been a nice silver lining. Yeah, see, I got a new oven. Here's the funny thing. Kathy and I are thinking, you know, in the next, several years to sell our house. Well, because of the fires, our refrigerator blew up. So now we're having to purchase new refrigerator, freezer. Our oven blew up. So now we have to buy a new oven. So now we're just praying our dishwasher doesn't go out. But when we get ready to sell our house, it's going to have all new stuff in it. Not that we didn't expect. A silver lining on what looked horrible. We looked at each other yesterday when we found out the fridge was gone, and we just went, but we don't say, "Oh my God, another thing." We just look at each other, and now I'm to this point where I know, okay, now I need to find a new thing. I need to, what's going to come out of this? And so she's a researcher. She gets to work trying to find her end. I go get to work trying to find a fridge to tide us over until the 13th when our new one's going to be installed. And so we both did that. And I ordered the fridge and freezer thing today. And I got the thing. I'm going to go pick it up at 6:30. And my wife just texted me and wrote me back when I told her, because she has nowhere to put groceries. She's going to the grocery store. And I said, okay, we got a little fridge. I'm going to go pick it up. And she wrote back and she went, yippee. So silver lining out of shitty stuff. Jason, thank you. That's a man who's a tough dude right there. Didn't know you were a vet. I'm not a vet. I don't remember I don't know what I said that made you think I was a vet, Sarah. I'm sorry. Oh, Sarah, honey, it's my little mortician. When I die, Sarah's going to cremate me. She's going to come all the way out from Kentucky to cremate Rick. And don't you burn the hair. Do you hear me? You can cremate everything on me, but not the hair. Our leaders and people in power nurture that divide you are talking about. Oh, they don't need, I agree. They don't only nurture it, they create it. But see, here's the deal. We recreate it. So we listen to them. We just keep doing it. So what if we were just to stop listening to that shit? You know what I mean? Stop. Turn off the news. They're not going to tell you anything that is of value, honestly. I'm definitely concerned about the media. I'll never watch again. That just came up. I'll live in my cave. No, I don't think, Brandy, we should live in a cave. I think we should live in community. And anything, what if our new thing was anything that comes between me and other people, I'm getting rid of. I'm going to dump it. I wish more people could say that they respect the office, whether or not they agree with the person in the office. I mean, heck. But here's the deal, Sarah. I think we can say that. I'm not going to wish it. I think we start expecting that of people. What would happen if you were in a conversation with your friends who don't like Donald Trump, and they're starting to just bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch and bitch, and all of a sudden you turn and we say, you know, I don't feel really good about trashing him. I don't agree with him on this, and this, and I'm not sticking my head in the sand, but I just feel like trashing him isn't really, what could we do here to make that different? Could you imagine? Now you're going to lose some friends that way. But maybe that's how you do it. You start standing up, but in a calm way. You know what I mean? Not in a confrontive way, not going like what some people come on my page and I go, so do you think Joe Biden should be doing this? And they're laying a trap and waiting for you to get in. And to me, it's like, screw you. I'm not getting in that trap. I'm talking about with your friends saying, you know, I'm not saying I disagree with you, but I just feel like we're trashing the guy right now. And I don't want to be that. I want to be kind. Or you ask the question, you know, if we're talking this bad about this person, Joe Biden or Donald Trump, how does that fit into my I want to be a kind person. How does that fit into kindness? And they'll make up excuses. Well, yeah, but he's racist, or yeah, but he's ruining the country. No. But how does that fit into my number one priority? Maybe that's what it is we don't set our number one priority. So what's our number one priority? I think I could make a number one priority of community. And what's going to keep me involved in a community, and what's going to stop me from being involved in a community. No matter what the results of the election, when all the votes are counted, we are all Americans. Instead of dividing more, this country needs to come together. One country, not Republicans against Democrats and vice versa. Be kind at the end. And you guys, when we're talking about kind, or I'm talking about kind, I do not mean that we roll over and we're dead and we're not ever making a comment again, because I'm always going to make comments. I always thought my past would ruin everything. I was a drug addict for 20 years, but got my 4-year sobriety over the summer. made it my 38th birthday today. Oh, happy birthday, Chris, which I never thought I would. I use my experience to help others as much as I can, no matter who they are and what they believe in. And you know what, Chris? Happy birthday. And I can say to you, you were like one of the new people. I think you're fairly new on my page, on our page. And I really like who you are. You bring depth to our conversations. And you know why? It's because you are not ashamed of your past. You're not living in it, but you're not ashamed of it. And you allow it to be part of who you are. And I love that. I think that's what makes a true human being. I really like having you aboard. You say things that you can tell there's a lot of knowledge from experience, from pain, from life, from bad choices, from good choices. And so you have an interesting life and you bring an interesting perspective to the conversation. And I like that. And you know what, like Brandon, you are welcome. But you know what, Brandon, you should be talking more to people like Chris, putting people like Chris into your life, because he's going to be somebody who can not tell you how to get out of your funk, but by being around someone like Chris, you're going to get out of your funk, because you're going to learn. And you don't learn from people telling you how to live your life. You learn from watching people watch their lives. And that's how it is. Yeah, Kathleen knows too. She's another one of those people, alcoholic for 30 years or something like that. And now she's on the other side of that. And it gives us, I think, you know what I think is kind of interesting is so many of us try to hide our past. And when you hide your past, you really fuck up your future. You do. Because nobody wants, that's what goes back to my original thing. Rick Dancer's fell off his pedestal, so quit putting him on it. And I want to be real, get real with Rick Dancer. I don't want to be Rick Dancer, the news guy. And I think when we allow people to see our vulnerability, to see our pain, to see who we really are, not only is it being authentic to us, it's being authentic to other people. And when you put up a wall and don't let people see who you are, you're only keeping yourself from having a relationship with some really interesting people. And another thing is when you're only friends with people who are like you, you are one boring, bad bitch boob. Here's another one. This is Jason. Imagine if we change our perspective on how we choose to see things. And Jason has a past. Jason struggles with life every day. From being in the war and having brain injury and traumatic brain injury and just living his life is a hard thing for him every single frickin' day, every hour. And that comes out of him because he's real, he's authentic, and he's open. So, Brandon, I would also suggest you get a hold of Jason. He is another person who will challenge your world. That's right, Chad. The world is being changed in big, big ways, and much of it will not be pleasant, but we will be all right. Yeah, I'm not being Pollyanna and saying that there's not some bad shit coming. But what I'm saying is, like Kathleen said earlier, is I'm going to go, while everybody else is focusing on, oh, God, that stinks. I'm going to be going, yeah, but, there's something, when something stinks that bad, that could be good fertilizer. Maybe we can grow something out of that. Inspire those who are in our immediate circle first. Cook meals, break bread, share stories. Jerry, I'd love that. Share stories. Share the story of your life. You are the most interesting person you know. And so I'll tell you, Brandon, honestly, with you, the more you start opening up like that, the more I want to talk to you. And I think everybody else is too. It's just how it is. Congratulations, Chris. That's a huge accomplishment. I'm working on my 11th year right now. Life is pretty freaking awesome. I should have known, Chad. Gets better, then it gets different, then it gets weird, then it finally gets normal. 37 years next week. Oh God. Of course, I will qualify this with Kathleen. You describing anything about you or your life as normal, that would be like me saying that I'm just like a regular guy. The world will be changing in big, big ways, and much of it will be. Oh, I'm sorry, Linda. I got yours on there twice. Well said, Rick. Fuck them. An asshole would say that. Oh, yeah, exactly. Hi, Misty. Oh, and this is Jason's wife. And I'm not reading your comment yet because I'm going to say something first before I read it. This is a great example, Misty and Jason, of a person, a partner in a relationship who just sticks with somebody. And you need people like that in your life. Because it's not easy. When people change and circumstances change people, it's not easy. But we all need a rock in our life. And I have my wife, who is my rock, because she doesn't give a shit who I was or am. She knows Rick Dancer is just the guy she married. And I was not on TV, and I was never on a pedestal. Well, maybe when she first met me. And then she figured me out. But Misty is that woman for Jason. It's sad how angry people are. His cousin wish she died because she disagreed with mask requirements. Yeah, and I think it's okay to disagree and fight it in your own way. People who wish the kind of devastation on others is really, really scary. Imagine living in their head. Yeah, can you imagine that? And they're out there, and that's family. How we become much hate in our world. Yeah. Well, see, I think that all of us can counterbalance that. Me too, to uncharted territory. You betcha. We're all kind of going at it. So love you and your honesty. Well, Rita, thank you. Hi, Rose. Life in the public eye is likely not for the faint of heart. No, people talk, fueling the rumor mill. People make assumptions and even more important decisions based on YouTube videos. Tough turf these days, but I see you having a very large platform with an amazing opportunity to show people what you're made of. And we all have background. It does help to shape us, I think, but we get to define who we are in our current actions. I agree 100%. I won't. Sarah, that's Sarah, my mortician. She's not going to burn my hair or beard when she cremates me. We need to stop being ugly and be respectful. We aren't always going to agree. That would make for an uninteresting life. God, Melissa, that is a profound statement. You want an interesting life? Meet new people. Invite strangers into your life. Find people that aren't like you to be around. What do you know about the media and how it can affect us? Have you experienced someone trying to buy you? Brandy, you know what I did? That I was a news anchor and I ran for office. Nobody tried to buy me, ever. No, but I'm not buyable. And that's probably why I didn't win. I would be murdered by now. If I was your governor, I would have been assassinated. I've had to stay home since June, isolated because I have cancer and chemotherapy. I love listening to you every day and make my world. Thank you, Pamela. I'm glad that we all can make your world. And I'm glad that you're doing okay. It's difficult often to respect the office due to the person in it. But isn't difficult when you know you have to do it, I think. Congrats on the sobriety to everybody. She's saying that. Happy birthday, Chris. Keep up the good work. I'm sorry it takes me so long to get to your comments, you guys. There's just a ton of you on here. Thumper's dad said it best. If you don't have anything nice, then don't say anything at all. I agree. What does that teach our children? We need to watch what we say. Exactly. I find it interesting. We say we have a no bullying policy in our schools, and yet our kids watch online at what the adults in the world are doing. And what are they thinking? Hypocrites. If you don't want people to bully, then stop bullying. If you want people to be kind, then be kind. If you want people to listen, then listen. If you want people to understand, then be understanding. If you want people to love, be loving. If If you want people to be friendly, be friendly. I think sometimes we invite the kind of shit that we get in our lives because how we treat people and how we treat ourselves. I think if you don't respect yourself, you'll never respect other people. And I see sometimes, and I hesitate to say this, but sometimes I see in Eugene, and I'm going to pick on Eugene a little, a lot of angry people. And I don't know why. I go to Springfield, I don't see that. I live over on that side. I live outside of Springfield. I see people with problems and issues, but sometimes in Eugene, I just feel like we're very angry and judgmental, kind of, and I get more weird looks like stuff in here than I do over there. And I think we as people I work here. I love this place. I work in downtown Eugene. And, and if we want people to see our city as a city of kindness, then we need to be kind. And we need to quit judging people and looking down on them because they might believe something different. I know I get dirty looks because I ran as a Republican, 12 years ago. So some people have never forgiven me. Well, screw you. I'm a nothing now. I'm a non-voter of anything. And because I think differently than you, there's no reason for you to snub your nose at me. And so, I think we get what we get. The nuances exist in the gray space between polarizing positions. The unhoused are a huge issue here. One extreme would be, say, to prohibit camping and throw them in jail. The other extreme would be to build free housing. The practical solution exists in between. The discussion should begin in the middle and radiate. I 100% agree. We need to do that with more topics in this town, is rather than be bleeding hearts or the complete opposite, we've got to meet in the middle. But for some reason, we feel like the polarization is, I'm so right because I care more about these people than you. Well, maybe I care more because I think that we could, if you're going to teach somebody to not be homeless, you have to teach them how to live and how to feed themselves so we somewhere in there, that doesn't make me a bad person. But in this town, you get raked over the coals because you're not buying the company lines. It's just leave people alone. I think leaving people on the streets is the meanest frickin' thing we could do. I think it's disgusting. And that is not the answer. That's not how you're just ignoring them. So you can walk through the town of Eugene and you can feel good about that. And guess what? Because I say that, then I have people in this town who go, oh, Rick, the answer is anti-homeless people. Well, yeah, I guess you're kind of right. I'm anti-homeless. I am. I don't think people should be homeless. And I think rather than sit around and bitch about it, we should come up with an idea. And that's going to start, as Harry said, somewhere in the middle. It's not going to start on your extreme, and everything can't. And that's the problem I think Eugene's having right now, is the extreme is dying. Nobody gives a shit. And we're looking for solutions. We want real solutions. So we're going to grow. We're going to move. We're going to have to expand our urban growth boundary so that we can get affordable housing for people. We can't just have lip service and say, I want affordable housing, but we're not going to take any more land to build houses with. It doesn't work that way. And you're going to have to take your high, lofty idea and bring it down to reality of what really works. Because we got people who are starting families and homes and they can't even live. And so you want people to live in a condominium. And here in America, we don't want to do that. So you're going to have to come up with something in the middle. And that's how it has to work. Thank you, Rick. That means a lot to me. I really, really appreciate your kind words. Well, I think happy birthday. I'm happy to know you. I said pretends with the middle, which is hard to get to without being able to congregate and have rational conversations. This medium caters to extreme viewpoints. Yeah, I agree. Your past is so important of who you can become. Oh, well said, Misty. That's super well said. Yeah. What if we looked at our past as not an obstacle, but really a starting place? It's something yes, we can leave, but don't ignore it. There's a richness in there that you take with you always, I think. It's hard for most people to learn from observation and not judgment. And people fail to realize how being authentic and owning your mistakes is what makes you a better person and a more interesting person. Genuine people are the best people, and the best people to look up to are those people, the ones who have no fear of being 100% real. I love that. I really, 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 really like that. I could sit here and just look at that for a while. Alcoholic for 12 years, 10 months. Alcoholic with 12 years, 10 months sober. Sponsor others' lives. Somebody's trying to interrupt us. So I got rid of them. There is strength in accountability and learning from your mistakes. I appreciate that you are candid. It's respectable. I'm not sure how to say your name. I'm sorry, but I think I've just had to learn that being in the public eye, being a loser, having cancer, very public cancer, kind of a personal cancer, but it's prostate for a man. That's pretty damn personal. Um, and I think it's all been like we started this conversation. It was all stuff that was negative at the time, but it's really become my foundation. All the bad shit and me losing. I mean, my last 2 years have been good. The 8 years prior to that were really hard, really hard. My wife and I had a really, really, really hard time because we were successful for all these years, and then all of a sudden, it wasn't so successful. Um, but I honestly believe I do what I do today because of that. Said I had to go there to get to here. I like that. Um, Nice rocks are a must. A lot of peeps making masks from home and know they're doing good to the world. Yeah, I think people just have to let people kind of be, love it. Yeah, I'm dreading when I have to go into quarantine closer to my due date. Oh my God, Sarah, you're having a baby? Oh, that honeymoon you took that seriously? Congratulations. I didn't know. I didn't know. There are a lot of angry people in Eugene, but classism and the kindness campaign are not upheld for everyone equally. So everyone is angry all the time, even when you are trying to be kind. Oh my God, who are you? You and I totally agree on this. Classism is huge in this town, and so is elitism and the politician stuff. So if you're a Republican, you're scum. If you're a Democrat, you're somebody. And it's yeah. Oh, anyway, that's how I see it. We don't treat everyone equally. No. And, and you can pull all this stuff out. Yeah. Oh, I could have a whole conversation with you. That would be so interesting. Yep. Agreed. So many of us have common sense. A lot don't. I don't think sense is common anymore. I think I think we have to come up with new language. And I'm not picking on you, Susie, but I think we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. The homeless are people, not just homeless. I smile and speak to them. Hello from Roseburg. Hi, Ashley. Thank you, Rick. You are very welcome. I enjoy. Yeah. Yes, preach it. They like you. Oh, yeah. Because I don't. I would like to see. And when you hear people talk like that, like say there's a super interesting and a whole bunch of person in there, and you're going, okay, that's a richness that has to come out. And why? Because she was authentic and real and made intelligent conversation and wasn't labeling people. Unless we purposely try to be positive influence, we will continue to be a society of angry people. So that's what we're going to do. You earned the good time. I am thankful for you. Oh my God, Jason, you wrote a book. Where's my head? Our past defines who we become. I would invite others to make simple perspective changes. Instead of it being a problem, it can be an opportunity. It doesn't have to be any grand gesture. Sometimes as simple as a morning shower can become a daily cleansing ceremony. This can happen if we change how we see and do things. Change begins within. For me, the ripple effect becomes so much more by my knowledge of the simple fact that we are 70% water. Let that sink in a little. And I will leave you on that point. Jason is an amazing man. And there's a lot of, guys, this was really interesting. And I appreciate, let's see. I appreciate you being in my life. I do. I know people make fun of social media and stuff, but I'm a social person. And this is like, This is like a community of people where I feel, for the most part, in here pretty safe. Um, when I'm on the other part of the, when I'm commenting on my page and stuff, I mean, I know where I am and what's going on. When I do this, and you know what here's a thought. Here's what I really do believe. I think my vulnerability and my authenticity is a secret weapon. You know what I mean? It is. It's a secret weapon. And when I feel like almost when I get into this frame of mind that I wanted to come on and do this tonight and rip down my pedestal and you guys come in and say what you say, I feel like it's almost like holy ground. Like it puts this shield around me and you. And the assholes can't quite get in. They're do not tread into holy land. And I'm not saying I'm God or anything like that. You guys wouldn't think that, but some people will come on and say. What I'm saying is there's almost like there's this protection around us when we get authentic. So everybody on here who gets authentic and really starts listening to other people, you become part of this superpower where they're afraid to touch you. They're afraid to say something because authenticity and true kindness and true, think about this, and true vulnerability almost is like a force field that they can't break into, because if they do, they look like a big giant piece of horse shit. So if you want to keep people from attacking you, and then this isn't sure fail proof because they're still going to attack me. I think people get mad because they don't like, I've had people come on and say really rude things, but there's this force, there's this thing that maybe that's the nugget today. That if we really use authenticity and kindness and being real, if we get real with people, it is like a force field, and then we can have real conversations with those people around us. Does that make sense? Harry, you go have dinner. Yep. It's your superpower. It is our superpower. Your hair is a secret weapon too. Yeah, that's not a secret. That's just a weapon. Yeah. So maybe that you are my superpower, Misty. Aww. Who can use your secrets against you if you've already outed them? See, Wendy, I totally believe that. It's like, what can you do to me when I've already told it all? When I had prostate cancer, when I first got it, my wife said, "What are you going to do?" And I said, "I'm going to be really public about it. I'm going to talk about boners. I'm going to talk about erections. I'm going to talk about my fears. I'm going to talk about all of it because that way I own the message, because it's my story. And then people, if they want to talk about me behind my back, they can, but it's already out there." And I have little old men, like I go speak at things for prostate cancer, and I go in and my first line is, "Gentlemen, you don't have to lose your lives or your boner." And so a lot of gentlemen in town are going, "Oh yeah, I saw Rick the other day. Was he talking about his boner?" Yeah. And I think that's absolutely hilarious because, and plus I think men need to be talking about these things more often. So it puts it out there. We are too busy to stop and ask a question and then stay and listen to the answer. So Vanessa, here would be my challenge to all of us, because you bring it, and I'm not picking on you, but I don't think we haven't. We are going to renew. I think we have to change what we say. And this is just a great example. And I do it all the time. Bad things. I mean, not bad things. I catch things. But so if I rephrased your sentence to how this could work, we could say, "I am going to renew my ability to listen to others. I'm not going to be too busy to stop and ask questions, and I'm going to listen to them. And if I'm talking or thinking of the next thing I'm going to say, then I'm not listening." So see, it's changing our language at what we say about ourselves. Because I think if we keep saying, "Well, it's never going to get better, and we're so at odds, and it's just like this and this and this," then we're speaking. There's life and death. There's a line in the Bible that says, life and death is in the power of your tongue. What you speak, you create. So if you speak good things about your life and about people around you, you can create that. If you keep speaking negativity and the same old stuff, then you will create that same thing. So if we want to recreate the world, we don't have to go out and change everything. No, we just change ourselves. We change what comes out of our head and out of our mouth. And instead we do something else. You're laughing about my boner. I know. 2 years and 1 month. 2 ears and 1 mouth. Yeah, exactly. We have 2 ears, so those should be used more than our mouth, and so on. God, you guys are so good tonight. You did a great job. And so, yeah, again, I do appreciate you. I thank you for your speaking into my life and speaking life, not death, into my life. And, all the really cool things I get to do, it's because I got people like you who feed me. This is what community is. I can't do what I do without you doing what you do. And you can't do what you do without the other people in your lives doing what they do. So if we started honoring and respecting that and realizing that we need each other, isn't that kind of the meaning of community, is that we need each other? So maybe that's our goal as we get through this presidential election and everything, is pay attention and be involved, have your opinion, but maybe don't use it too much. And instead, start finding people like Brandon and Harry and Jason and Misty and other folks like that who either can speak life into your life or that need you to help speak life into their life. Matt, what did you miss? You missed my boner. You missed so much that we can't even sum it up. You, Mr. Late, will have to go back and watch the whole thing. And you know what, Matt? The problem is with rewatching, you don't get to be part of it. You can listen and gain so much attention, and you will be a better person when you get done watching this. In fact, you'll be amazing. But you won't get to add your 2 cents because you're late. We start at 5 and you're late. Well, we were even late tonight too for you. Thank you from Finn Rock. Oh, Glenna, you are welcome. We need to be conscious of our tribal instincts and realize we really have more in common. Exactly. I agree. Poor Matt. He got publicly flogged. Or maybe that's the look he gets when I talk about my boner. I'm going to change what I'm thinking and listen more. I'm going to try too. I am really going to try. All right. Have a good night. I got to go pick up my little refrigerators that I'm borrowing from Eric. And we'll go from there. Okay. You missed my boner. That's what Vanessa's going to take from this conversation. Matt, you missed my boner. All right. Have a good night. Oh, and this is not produced for children.